Unbelievable. Okay, Mark, I'm going to have you read verses 37 through 40, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Okay? Why don't we start with 36? 36 through 40. I'll put it starting at 36 so you can just read it straight down through. Okay? Okay, everyone. I'm trying to prep Mark for what I want him to do. He's going to be reading from John 18, 36 through 40. Thanks for bearing with me as I got that kind of in my mind as to what I wanted to talk about this afternoon. It's about 3:51 in the afternoon on Sunday. I've entitled this, and I've done messages on this before, but I would entitle this, What is True? What is True? I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mark, and then I'll make some comments about this. It's actually the 18th chapter.
She's answered.
Chapter 36.
She just answered, my kingdom is not. She just answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight. It should not be delivered to the Jews, but now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou the king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest, I am the king. Sin was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate saith unto him, What is truth? When he said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and saith unto them, Find to him no fault at all, but ye have a custom that I should release unto you on the Passover. Therefore thou release unto you the king of the Jews. And cried thou again, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber.
Thank you, Mark. You know, this is a very controversial passage that I had Mark read. Not that I'm into controversy, but it seems like I end up in scriptures that are controversial often. Look at verse 36. Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. See, the followers were expecting Jesus to set up an earthly kingdom. And he said his kingdom is, you know how many people that I have talked to use this, and I used to do this myself. I'm as guilty as anyone else. But I would use this scripture to totally obliterate the literal 1,000-year reign of Christ on the earth. Because he says, my kingdom is not of this world. Okay? He was talking about to these people that thought he was going to, at that time, set up an earthly kingdom. And now they're going to kill him because he did not meet their expectations. Okay? Now, I'm going to just say this. I'm not going to make this prolonged. But if you believe the Bible, one of these days, Christ is going to rule and reign on this earth for 1,000 years. If you believe the Bible. There's a lot of people that deny that. But one of these days, and by the way, 1,000 years isn't that long in context of eternity. We're looking for the New Jerusalem coming out of God, out of heaven. That's what we're really looking for. His eternal kingdom in the New Jerusalem is what we're looking for. But there is going to be an interim kingdom set up for 1,000-year reign on, and Satan's going to be bound for 1,000 years. Okay, let's go on. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Art thou a king then? Isn't that interesting? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. In other words, yes, I'm a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Now here's a very, very important verse, a very important sentence. We do a whole sentence on, do a whole message on this next sentence. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. There's a lot of people I've run into down through the years that say they believe the Bible, but they don't believe the Bible because they don't believe what Christ said. They don't believe what Christ said. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate saith unto him, What is true? You know, I don't know how many times I've heard that in the university, talking to these philosophers. There's no such thing as absolute truth, they would say. They would say the only absolute is there aren't any absolutes, right? What is true? And when he said this, he went out again to the Jews and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. Now, if Jesus had said, I'm down here to set up an earthly kingdom, Pilate would have found some fault with him, I guarantee you. Because he would have been a threat. He would have been a threat to Rome. If Pilate had said, yeah, I'm down here. I want to overcome Rome. I'm going to take over this world. I'm going to overthrow the Roman, I'm going to take over. Pilate would have found fault in him. But because he said his kingdom wasn't in this world, he didn't care. But ye have a custom, what should I release unto you? One of the Passover, will you therefore release unto the king of the Jews? Then cried they all, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. So they would rather have Barabbas, a robber, released to him than Jesus Christ. Now, I want to just say this in all kindness and love as much as I can. If you do not believe what Jesus said in his word, okay, if you don't believe it, you've got a major problem. You've got a major problem. If you try to explain it away, and if you try to say this doesn't mean this, it means that, by the way, I've said this before, I know I'm on kind of a tangent, only because I'm dealing with this right now. But Jesus Christ said the reason that he came in the world was to bear witness unto the truth. Now this is the Apostle John writing this down. And people believe the Gospel of John, but they don't believe the Apostle John, not in another book he wrote. They believe John, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, but they don't believe another book he wrote. And by the way, Jesus Christ said that he was the one that revealed these things to John. Jesus Christ is the one that said he revealed these things to John. And Jesus Christ said, everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. The people are in the total denial of, and I'm going to be doing a message on this. I'm not going to be doing it tonight because I've just kind of been going over this with someone else and they've already heard it once. They don't want to hear it again. But I'm going to be doing a whole message on this, what I call revelation deniers. And I'm going to point out 28 points of people that are in the Amel camp or in the preterist camp that deny 28 different prophecies of Jesus Christ in the book of Revelation. They deny it. They say that doesn't mean that, it means this. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. That's what Christ said. Well, that's kind of what's on my mind, is that if we confess that we are Jesus Christ's children, he says, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. My sheep hear my voice. If they don't hear the voice of Christ, they're not his sheep. All right, well, you all have a blessed evening.